Tonight on Let It Rip, we're still a ways away from election time, but some believe Detroit's mayor has his eyes on a bigger prize. So who could replace Mike Duggan if he does decide to run for governor? And does the city need to continue his vision or strive for a new one? We're talking to some of the players. But first, polls show a good chunk of Americans aren't thrilled with the idea of this guy or this guy getting the Oval Office next year. Now, a new effort in Michigan is trying to get some fresh blood.
The polling actually shows that the no labels ticket would draw equally from both the Republican and the Democratic side.
That's right. A former Michigan congressman wants to help promote the no labels party. So will this succeed where other third-party efforts have failed? Or will it just give us yet another candidate we've never heard of? The debate starts now. Time now to Let It Rip. We'll get into the third-party discussion in a minute, but as you know, we have big news tonight. Former President Trump saying on his Truth Social platform that he's been indicted on federal charges in the classified documents probe. This related to the raid of his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida last year. Now, he says he's been summoned to appear at the federal courthouse in Miami next week. That's going to be on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Also proclaiming his innocence on his posts, saying it is a, quote, dark day for the U.S. Turning to our panel now, former State Representative Sherry Gay Dagnago, Oakland University political science professor David Dulio, and Republican candidate for president and businessman Perry Johnson, and of course our Fox 2 anchor and resident attorney Charlie Langton here as well. This is a man who never sleeps but always has energy. We're going to begin with Perry Johnson. One of your opponents in this year's presidential election has been indicted now twice. What does this do for Donald Trump, Perry Johnson?
It gives him more publicity. Has there ever been a president that has had more publicity than Donald Trump? In fact, I think he has a slogan, no publicity is bad publicity.
And you believe that this second indictment, this one, no, not about a relationship or hush money or paying a lawyer off, but rather about a federal law of actually violating the Presidential Records Act. You think this is actually just fodder for political play? You don't think this is a serious charge?
It might be a serious charge. Anything is a more serious charge than what happened before. Right now, we haven't had a chance to study it. It just came out. In fact, we barely got a chance to even review what's going on.
And they'll continue to review it, of course, as we will continue to review it. Dave Dulio, man, you do this for a living, talking about politics. Here we are, second time he's indicted. This is a president that, when he ran initially, he loved when he said something controversial because CNN and Fox News, everyone would carry the comment. Is this basically more of that?
More of the same. This is another example of Donald Trump being the king of earned media, right? He attracts it, he loves it, and most importantly for his political future, he can use it effectively.
Sherry Gay Dagnago, he's been playing with fire with a little bit of controversy. He's gotten close to the flame. He hasn't been burned yet, and yet it continues to feed his campaign. This is good for him.
Oh, absolutely it is, and he thrives off of it. He's going to use his social media platform to tell his part of the story and earn and increase his ratings, you know, his polling numbers. He feels really confident that he's going to get back into the White House. And having this type of free media, earned media, will play right into his hands.
But not only play into his hands, play into his base. You know, right now on his social media account, Truth Social, he said, look, this is not just an attack on me. This is an attack on you, the American people, the base. Charlie Langton, you're our attorney. Around town right now, everyone wants to talk to an attorney about this. How serious is this? A violation of Presidential Records Act. Can he go to jail for this?
I don't know. You can indict anything. You can indict a ham sandwich. That's what they say. So an indictment doesn't mean too much to me. What are the facts over here? But what state was this in?
Florida.
Who's the governor there?
DeSantis.
Is he running for president?
Yes.
Okay, so Trump can take out two people. He can take out DeSantis. He can take out Biden. And listen, Perry Johnson wishes he was indicted to get all this free publicity. Give me a break. This is a bonanza for Donald Trump. He's going to use this to rake in the money.
Okay, but we understand that obviously he's going to use a little bit of this for his own presidential power play here. But let's be very frank about these charges. And that's why I'm asking you. This is a serious investigation.
It's a document charge.
But
he didn't give some documents.
But can he be charged with espionage? Can he be charged with the destruction of of government property? Aren't those serious charges, Charlie?
I don't want to make light of it. It is an indictment. There was a special prosecutor in this case appointed, so obviously they have more information than we do. But the bottom line is, it is still an indictment. He's going to have to be arraigned. He's going to have to go to a court. Trump doesn't like that stuff. But yes, you have to play by the rules.
You say he doesn't like that stuff, but the last time he was indicted, he actually put out a release to make sure that the cameras knew what time he was coming.
Of course
so he could
did.
be present and the jet was landing at a certain time.
I think the Biden administration, back off this stuff. Unless the guy did something. It's a document. If that's a document you're supposed to turn in, he did. I don't know where the harm is, but I seriously doubt that the American public is really harmed because Donald Trump has a few documents. I think the Biden administration
But Sherry, we know, if you want to talk about boxes, we know that Joe Biden had 1,850 boxes in his Delaware home, in his property, hiding next to his Corvette, all those boxes. And yet we don't have the same fervor from Democrats about why you have those documents. Is that a double standard or what?
Well, I think, in all honesty, I think that is a double standard. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You can't have a federal charge, and this is a federal public act that is put into place, and it's a federal charge. And so, if you're looking to indict one, certainly we have to look at, you can't throw rocks and you live in a glass house.
That's right.
So I think this is really going to really, again, play into Trump's base. It's going to help him raise money. It's going to increase his polling. I mean, he has cult-like followers that are ready to, attack the White House, So this right here, I'm afraid for the benefit that it gives him, the advantage that it gives him, and we're real early in the game of the presidential election.
The reason we brought all of you here tonight was initially to talk about the fact that there are other candidates outside of Biden and Trump, one of who's sitting right in front of us here, Perry Johnson, who says, hey, give me a shot too. Is this country sick and tired of these two guys, Biden and Trump?
Well, I guarantee they don't want somebody like me in there.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. I'm a guy I'm essentially a guy that Rudy referred to as the super efficiency expert. I've spent my whole life bringing quality and efficiency to companies.
Rudy Giuliani called you that. Okay.
2 days ago.
So you brought efficiency to all of the companies, some of the autos.
That's all I do.
And then now, what would you do?
And now I wrote a book, 2 Cents to Save America, and the whole concept is quite simple. We have a situation right now where the government wants to spend every penny in their budget. I want to freeze it and cut 2 cents of every dollar. And that is 180 degrees from what they want. In fact, what they did...
But I have to ask you this. You're running for president against two mammoth candidates.
They are.
You have all these third party and also Republican Democrats and who are like trying for this. And there's people at home going, are these guys ever going to... This guy can't make it. I mean, and why are you doing it? So let me ask you, why are you doing it?
Well, I do think I can win. And I know that in the beginning, nobody believes it, but I'm going to ask you a simple question. Did anybody really believe that Donald Trump, Clinton, Obama were ever going to be president? In fact, when you take a look at what goes on, the real issue is that they're trying to get me off the debate stage because everything depends on the debate stage, right?
Well, so you need 40,000 unique donors, right?
Even though I'm funding it myself, because they know I have a lot of money, even though I'm funding it myself, they said I had to get 40,000 donors.
Well, why not go get the 40,000 donors, even though you can fund it yourself, so that you can be on the debate stage?
Just buy them.
Well,
I don't know if you want to do that.
That's illegal.
He's going to be off the debate.
That is illegal.
Then you get indicted, Charlie. Then you got the indictment.
I'm going to show you a picture.
He wants to be indicted.
I'm going to show you a picture of a guy who is making a lot of noise, and it's not in Washington, but a lot of people in Washington are talking about him. Dr. Cornel West. He's a Harvard professor. He's a philosopher. He's a brilliant guy. He's way left, and he says that no president in the Democratic Party, Dave, so far has done justice to black Americans. And yes, Sherry, we want to talk to you about this as well. But as a political science professor, this guy is a third-party guy who's coming out saying, hey, give me a shot. Does that hurt Biden, and how badly?
In this case, I don't think it hurts Biden. I think Dr. West is so far on the fringe of the Democratic Party, even the progressive movement, that it's not going to impact the president's run for renomination, and eventually, because I don't think RFK Jr. or other Democrats who are challenging him in the primary have much of a shot either. Joe Biden is running from a position of strength as the incumbent president. I think he will fairly easily defeat all those on the left side of the spectrum.
But if you look at some of the numbers, when black voters were polled in 2020, hey, what do you think of Biden? 92% of the people polled said, hey, we like this guy. Recently, they asked, hey, are you better off because of Biden? Close to 50% said, yeah. That's a huge hole there.
It's a huge hole. I think